Yeah, so you've been in the Carolinas north and south for the last few days, right?
I have.
Yeah, what have you been doing?
I've been running around with a bunch of your friends.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Man, that's trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm running on a lot more sleep than I thought I was going to. Everybody's getting a little bit older, so these trips are getting a little bit easier.
Yeah, they were wilder several years ago, I agree.
Right.
Yeah. Well, so happy to have you here. So we're going to kick off with a song called Young Man. Before we do that, how long have you been writing songs, Nick?
I started about the age of 19. I was in a church group, and it just seemed like once we had a band and we'd learned some songs, like writing our own songs that was the next step. So I started there, and then after I got out of that, just started doing it.
Do you remember the first song you wrote?
I do.
What was it called?
Crosswalk.
Crosswalk.
That was the name of our band too.
Okay.
Like I said, Christian rock group. So.
Okay, Crosswalk, cool. So, my favorite line in this particular song is, you can't buy a saddle for a horse you ain't got. I think that's cool and very true. So, what made you think of that line? Anything, or it just popped in there?
So the song itself, I like you said in the introduction, I'm from Prestonsburg, Kentucky, Eastern Kentucky, and I live right on the Country Music Highway, right in the middle of Chris Stapleton and Loretta Lynn and Dwight Yoakam and all these prolific artists. And as a young songwriter, it's pretty daunting to like that be the examples that you're looking at as far as success and songs. And so I just kind of come to this place where I was trying to remind myself to kind of be easy on myself, that you can only have the perspective that you have. You can't outsmart the future. You know what I'm saying? You got to go through those experiences before you have the experience to recall upon. So that line was just like, I can't buy a saddle for a horse that I ain't got yet. Just I can't have the experience of something that I've not experienced.
Yeah, that's awesome introspect. Yeah, yep. Well, without further ado, Young Man.
There's just some songs a young man can't write. A pen of experience is delivered only in time. You don't sing about driving when you ain't seen the road. You don't pull up your flowers while there's still room to grow. Yeah, I know what I know, and that ain't a lot. My grass is much greener than my older self's plot. You can't buy a saddle for a horse you ain't got. I know what I know, that ain't a lot. I'm just a verse that ain't found the words, just chords and a melody. Sometimes those things come first. But if I keep going, I know I'll get there someday. I'll be part of a song that someone likes to play. Yeah, I know what I know, but that ain't a lot. My grass is much greener than my older self's plot. You can't buy a saddle for a horse you ain't got. And I know what I know, but that ain't a lot. Lord, I'm still navigating my way through this world. I've been down in the creek bed and up in the trees with the squirrels. I don't have no directions, I make it up as I go. Wade in the water is the only way that you know how deep to go. Yeah, I know what I know, and that ain't a lot. My grass is much greener than my older self's plot. You can't buy a saddle for a horse you ain't got. I know what I know, but that ain't a lot. Thank you.